What up YouTube? Salvador Brinkman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Sal. And today I'm talking about, should you launch a crowdfunding campaign in 2018? Are you going to launch a new campaign on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Should you do it? What should you know beforehand? This is a really exciting time because at the beginning of a year, there's always that kind of refresh period where you feel like you can do anything, you can accomplish anything, you can set new goals and new standards for your life. It's a very exciting time, and particularly 2018. It's weird to say that we're now entering 2018. This year, looking back in time, like to think how old I would be when I was 2018, to think of all the different things that would be going on, like thinking of like flying cars by 2018. I mean, we have self-driving cars, like that's becoming a real thing. We have really cool technology and 3D printing. We have now devices which can turn on and motion activate if you're doing like home surveillance. We have really cool technology like Bitcoin, virtual digital currency. We have 3D rendering where you can open up your phone and you can see a 3D model of something, augmented reality and also virtual reality. So there are tons of different trends which are converging right now. It's a really exciting time to be alive. And in the history of the world, there has never been a time in the history of the world where there has been such advanced and sophisticated technology, but also so much opportunity. Just think about this, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, for a kid like me to be able to reach you, to be able to reach a massive audience of people, more than 20,000 email subscribers, Kickstarterforum.org has 7,000 users, this YouTube channel has more than 4,000 subscribers. To be able to reach that many people would cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And I would need a television studio or something like that in order to reach all of you. But I can do that now from the comfort of wherever I am, wearing my own t-shirt, enjoying life. From a very, relatively inexpensive camera, considering what it would cost to get a super high production value camera. I can do all of that now because of the technology that is available to us. And right now, as you're listening, crowdfunding is something that is available to you. It is untapped potential. It's something that you can tap into and you can get instant funding, instant credibility, and instant awareness for your business, for you as a person, for your brand. You can use this time in history to your advantage. You can use crowdfunding to your advantage. It's something that I don't know how long, honestly, crowdfunding is gonna be around. I think it's gonna be around for a very long time, but we don't know that. This is a unique time where this is a unique trend that is exploding. Tons of people are raising money on Kickstarter and Indiegogo every single day. We have new projects that are getting millions of dollars. I have people regularly on my podcast, Crowdfunding Demystified, who raise 6 and 7 figures on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And we have projects that have hit the $8 million mark. That's like mind-blowing. It also just seems like, how is it that this little project could raise so much money? So this is a new trend. This is also a trend that is continuing to evolve into the future. We're going to be seeing more and more businesses that are started via crowdfunding than any other medium, in my opinion. We've even seen major success stories like the Oculus Rift. I talk about virtual reality. You have the Oculus Rift, which is virtual reality. This was started on Kickstarter. They raised money on Kickstarter, and then they sold to Facebook for $1 billion+, for over $1 billion. So real projects, real businesses are being started with crowdfunding every single day. And it's a much easier source of funds than some of the other things that we talk about, like equity, going out there trying to find a venture capitalist, trying to find angel investors. even the risk of taking on a loan and having to put your credit on the line and having to pay back that loan, crowdfunding is great because number one, there is a proven method for success with it. And I share that with you on this YouTube channel and also on my book, the Kickstarter Launch Formula. I share that in the podcast episodes. I share with you how people are succeeding with crowdfunding. And it's not like, a major secret here. It was actually at one point in time, but I've worked to uncover it for you. So there's a proven path to success, number one. Number two, once you do raise those funds, once you do hit that fundraising goal and you exceed it, you now have this entire batch of customers, this entire group of people who can, number one, test out your product. They can give you feedback. These are your initial early adopters. These are the customers that love what you do. They like the vision that you have for the company, and they've bought into that with their hard-earned dollars. You have funding. You have an initial batch of customers. Once you get funding on Kickstarter, the media is much more receptive to you. People want to write about you. People want to write about crowdfunding success stories. They want to write about and feature cool new products. They want to talk about you. They need to talk about different stories in order to stay in business. So to have a cool new early adopter product that they can showcase is something that they're looking for. So when you have a successful crowdfunding campaign, it's much easier to get media exposure for your brand and also for that product, which, as you know, translates directly into sales and also increasing the amount that your project is raising on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So there are tons of benefits when it comes to crowdfunding. It's very easy to see how this is kind of like a pre-order for your product, and it's almost like you're testing and you're trying to get a validation of the marketplace. Are people actually interested in this product? Are they actually willing to buy this? If you don't conduct this kind of user testing, you could end up spending years of your life and wasting it creating a product or spending it on a business idea that doesn't have promise. As they say, it doesn't have legs. When you have a bunch of people, though, who support it and who buy into it and who say, yeah, this would be freaking awesome to own, then there is a marketplace for the product. So it's also powerful for that reason. This is called lean startup methodology, where you're really testing the validity of the marketplace, and you're doing that in real time. So it's really not only for the validation, for the money, for the backers or the customers, and also for the media exposure. There are tons of reasons why crowdfunding is a good choice for your business. The only downside is you have to ship out rewards to people. And that's like, if you're starting any other e-commerce business, you'd have to do the same thing. You have to ship out products at a certain point in time. But what I want to share with you is a really hidden benefit. Something that not many people talk about, and something that, in my experience, has transformed the lives and the career of many of the people that I've actually had on my show. And that is that crowdfunding is an excuse. Crowdfunding is an excuse to get serious about your business and your product. When you have to launch a crowdfunding campaign, you have to do a bunch of things. You have to decide on the name. You have to create good photos. You have to create a video. You have to get quotes from manufacturers. You have to make an initial prototype. You have to do customer service. These are all different things that you're going to have to do in your own business. But what crowdfunding does is it compresses all of that learning time. So maybe you would have to figure all that stuff out in a year or 2 years. But because you're launching a crowdfunding campaign in 3 months' time, it compresses the learning time. And it makes you get much more serious. And you do honestly work a lot leading up to the launch of the campaign, but you get so much done. There's a high sense of urgency within your team. There's a high responsibility in wanting to do right and really execute to get this product out there to people. And it's an amazing way to align a team around an idea and around that business and project. It accelerates the progress for your business. So it compresses all of this. It kickstarts your business, and it also is a crash course in business. You're learning about all these different things, and it can seem overwhelming at times. And that's one of the reasons why I have the podcast and I also have this YouTube channel for you. But if you stick it out and you make sure that you create a good product and you work hard, you educate yourself, you bring on the right mentors, and you really try to make this a great launch for your campaign, you will see dividends far into the future. You think about going to like an MBA program, or you think about going back to school or college for a business degree. That's great. Don't get me wrong, that's a wonderful if you're looking to work for someone else. If you're looking to go into the finance industry, or you're looking to work for a big corporation, of course, an MBA is freaking awesome. It will increase the amount that other people pay you. But if you are an entrepreneur and you're not looking to work for anyone else, if you're an entrepreneur and you're the one who wants to pay other people, then it's not so great because you're not gaining real world experience. You're spending a lot of money for a fancy degree that doesn't actually net you any kind of real world experience. The best thing that you can do, and you've heard this time and time again, I'm not the first person to tell you this. The best thing you can do is get experience, is to launch businesses, to try things out, to fail, etc. And you can do that on your own if you would like, but sort of a testing ground, a playground, if you will. Like you're playing in the sandbox. This is sort of a smaller version of the real world, is crowdfunding, because you can launch a project and it not go well, and it has the same dynamics as launching a business. So you're doing all these different things, you're getting tons of experience, you're seeing whether or not this product has legs, if people actually are interested in it, and if they are, you just started an entire new business. And if they're not, so what? You can always launch another crowdfunding campaign. I've had guests on my show that have launched multiple Kickstarter campaigns before they hit on the one that ends up getting a ton of funding. So you can launch multiple crowdfunding campaigns. So one hidden benefit here is that you're getting a crash course in business. And if you spend some money, not only going to these different classes for an MBA and buying the textbooks and doing all that stuff, you're like a lot of money in the hole already. You don't have very much real world experience. To me, it makes way more sense to actually get some real world experience, to try this out, to put the product out there into the world, and to see the kind of response that you get. So in my opinion, if you are doing an e-commerce product, you're looking to make a business that can turn into an online store, or you're looking to start a business in the entertainment industry, like a game, a board game or something like that, or even a comic book, a children's book, anything that goes into one of these crowdfunding campaign categories, I do think it pays a lot to focus on crowdfunding in 2018. You're going to have all of these benefits at your disposal. You will also get funding to continue with the operation of your business and to continue to scale this project and reach way more people. Now, if you have a tech startup, you're trying to do something more software related, you're trying to do an app, crowdfunding might not be the best fit for you. You might have to look more into equity crowdfunding versus like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, because equity crowdfunding sites, you're dealing with investors more so than people that are looking to buy the product. Now, all of this being said, what is the number one thing that you can do in order to make this happen in the next year? We're all familiar with setting New Year's resolutions, setting goals for the new year and then not following through. A major reason why we don't follow through on our goals is that there is no deadline. There is no mark on the calendar like, okay, I want to complete this thing by this date. And then you work backwards and see, okay, this week or this month I have to focus on this, and this other month I have to focus on this. And you can track your progress backwards from that launch date. That is the first thing that I would recommend doing, is trying to come up with a anticipated launch date. You can change it in the future, but try to really treat that with seriousness and respect. When you have a launch date, you will begin to then create to-do lists. You'll begin to organize your months. It'll be easier going forward to get this campaign launched. And the second thing that you can do is you can begin to educate yourself. begin to learn from other success stories. Begin to see some of the other people out there that are raising money successfully with crowdfunding. And a very easy way to do that is with the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. You can also go on websites like kickstarterforum.org. You can see people who are actually raising funds, and what that does is it increases your appetite. It makes you more excited. It makes you more eager to launch this project because you see other people doing well, people that are just like you. So those are the two things I would recommend doing going into this next year. Number one, set deadlines. Put that deadline, some date in the future. Just make sure that you treat it with respect. It's not something that you're just kind of casually putting up there. You're like, no, I want to launch the campaign on this date, so we have to get ready for it by doing these different things. And number two, start to get a little bit educated. Start to learn a little bit about the crowdfunding best practices. Start to listen to some podcasts that are out there. It doesn't have to be mine. Buy some books on Amazon related to crowdfunding. That's going to help you feel more confident going into 2018. I hope that this video has been helpful for you. I also wish you a happy, a prosperous, and a very successful 2018 going into this next year. And I hope that you achieve all of your resolutions and all of your goals for this next year. Again, my name is Sal, and I'll see you next time.